Hey everyone, and welcome to Never Split the Party. My name is Dustin, and I also go by the Arbitrary Nerd. I am your GM most evenings. This evening is a little bit different. We're actually doing the episode 2 recap, and the reason for that is because we lost the original episode. There's a number of reasons for that. Most of them our fault, all of them our fault. We've rectified the situation. We've had no more issues through episode think we're on 11 or 12 at the time I'm recording this. So feel free to deal with this one time and then never again as we go through the regular episodes and back to your normal scheduling. The only reason why I'm kind of doing a special recap here is because this was the first episode our player Chris, who plays Miller, the Yosoki mechanic, was able to join us. He was scheduled for the first episode. We had a little block for him, and he just did not make it. Not sure how we'll deal with character absences in the future, but I don't want there to be any, so Miller got his own time to describe his first month on Pyramid Station Alpha, and then he jumped right into what the other players were doing, which was making his way to Dead Dome. I'm going to let his video play in a couple seconds. He did a personal diary-style video from Miller's kind of own point of view, actually awkward angle point of view, as he's recording from a datapad. Actually, Miller likes doing the diary things. He's actually done one in Discord already. If you aren't a member of Discord, please check it out. We'll post extra content, and we also take a lot of feedback and suggestions, and also just content recommendations. I've used a couple character names that got recommended on there and things like that. But check out our Discord. All of our links to most of the places you can find us are right in the video description, so utilize that, please. Hopefully, I will see you around. I will stop now. I'll let Miller do his thing, and then I will cut back to me, and I'm just going to very briefly discuss what the other players did. They was mostly a Miller episode, so you didn't lose too much on them. It's just their progress to Dead Dome, which I'll cover quickly. All right, now let's get to Chris doing Chris, or Chris doing Miller, or Miller. It doesn't matter. Go. Bye.
People say that money makes the galaxy turn. Oh, hold on a second. Camera malfunction, and reroute to auxiliary cameras and execute. Alright, cool. So like I was saying, people say that money makes the galaxy turn. Yeah, big corporations paying off authorities and the like to turn a blind eye. Maybe gangs hiring hitmen or a cleanup crews. Politicians buying votes. The list goes on, and I'm sure you know the deal. Heck, you could probably list quite a few more examples, but no. Money ain't where it's at. No. Especially if you're like me and you're just a creditless rat. Connections are actually where it's at. Being extremely proficient in both engineering and computer systems is a huge plus. I mean, the galaxy basically runs off nothing but machines and computers, so being able to be proficient in these things really gets you by. You know, a gunner can have all the credits in the universe, but if his ship's life support system fails mid-flight, how is he going to fix it? Well, I mean, with some duct tape, maybe a few copper wires, a few pillowcases soaked in rubbing alcohol. Yeah, no, I could jury rig something that will scrub the oxygen clean for at least long enough to get us to a port and get a more proper fix. Governor Brickahead, on the other hand, he'd be a bit spoop out of luck, if you catch my drift. But that's where I come in. My name is Miller Dotwood Abigail Price. That's Price spelled Price, kind of like Price. But I go by Miller. And, well, I know people. I left my home planet of Akaton for, well, I mean, hold on. I don't know. Yeah, this is not a secure network, so let's just say, for better for worse, I left my home planet of Akaton. And immediately pursued higher knowledge. I mean, I was one of the smartest people in my village. But I went to the Border Space Union Military Academy on Pyramid Station Alpha. And unsurprisingly, I was accepted before I even finished my second demonstration. They basically hired me on the spot. Life was pretty good there. I had a few lackeys, one by the name of Dirtbag, the other by the name of Junkie. Because you gotta need your lackeys, especially in my line of work. You need the muscle. I mean, I'm the brains, not the brawn, if you know what I mean. But and while I was there, I was also running multiple business ventures in the school. A lot of them were pretty successful, and others not quite as successful. There was a flooded toilet incident in the women's bathroom that may or may not have anything to do with me. But let's move on a little from there. But I was also uncontested in my ability to get jobs done quickly, and more importantly, efficiently. That's what employers are looking for: your speed and efficiency. And I was great. I'm great at both of them. I'm great at what I do. But that's also why I was chosen as head mechanic on the Starship Infinitum exercise. It's supposed to be nothing more than a routine space travel mission, but I was so bored. Space travel is nothing new to me. I mean, I came here from Hackathon on a spaceship. So I got done with my daily work, so I figured just to exercise my brain, I would manually chart out a destination, because there's a lot that's involved with 3D mapping, and it's good exercise. It keep you nice and spry. But to my extreme, and let me tell you, I couldn't believe it at first, but to my extreme surprise, our trajectory was not the same that was displaying on screen. In fact, it was way off. It was completely different. And just to be sure that I didn't carry a 1 over to the wrong place or anything like that, I ran my math by a colleague of mine, a fellow student whose name was it was a number 0. It was 0. For future reference, don't name your kids after a number. It gets confusing. In fact, it was so confusing that I actually gave him the name Hush on account of his quiet behavior, his demeanor. His demeanor was pretty quiet. But yeah, I ran my math by him, and he double, he triple, and then I even had him quadruple check it, because this is big. Our ship was on a direct collision course to the space station. Yeah, and he confirmed it with every check. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the details. That's for another time. But long story, very, very short. We, as an ad hoc crew, Hush, Brawl, Seeker, and Rye, we managed to send our ship into the drift and escape on pods, where we were immediately picked up by the BSU MPs and basically expelled from the academy that day. Expelled. So I kind of for a month after that or so, I'd been slumming it with other rats. Actually, it was fine. I mean, I come from a family of about 16 siblings, and then I have countless cousins, second cousins, and so on and so forth. So I mean, just kind of slumming it with them. It was kind of like I was being home. I was comfortable. But day 1 of my expulsion, I actually had the fortunate luck to run into Sal Scotern, Sal, of the Super Salvage Supreme. Yeah, he's the CEO of it. And basically they're just a salvage team that does pretty well for themselves. And when I ran into him, he had a couple odds and ends that needed fixing. So we actually became fast friends. He's a fellow rat. He's got lots and lots of children. He's a great guy. But not only was he giving me steady work, but he actually introduced me to a couple of new clients, a sharing group on the spaceship, the Chirrup. They're basically a cargo ship, just traveling around from space station to wherever, whether it be planet or other space stations, just transferring cargo. And I do regular system upgrades, regular repairs on the ship, and they pay pretty good. But the big one was the Star Sung Heroes that Sal set me up with. Now, the Star Sung Heroes, I'm not entirely sure who or what they are. I mean, we communicate through text exclusively, and whenever I help them out, it's all remote work, remote computer work, and I'm kind of upgrading the computer systems and whatnot. Don't really know exactly what they do, who they are, but they pay well, and if they pay well, I don't need to know anything. Mum's the word. So it was about maybe, I don't know, a month or so when it happened. The ship that crashed into Dead Dome. Lots of people panic. I mean, it was chaos. But being being someone in salvage, you gotta kind of keep your wits about you. And in fact, I was actually pretty excited. A crashed ship means salvage. It means work. So I went right to Sal, and I asked him if he wanted me to go, join his salvage team. But here's the thing: it was in Dead Dome, and Dead Dome has been closed off for, I don't know, years. I have no idea how long it's been closed off, actually. And to get there, you have to pass security. It's all on lockdown. So Sal hired me to plot out a route. And as an added bonus, he said not only would he pay me for it, but anything I found, I got to keep, which is awesome. It was a no-brainer. I accepted it on the spot. So off I went, and I snuck to sneak into Dead Dome. But again, I'd only been there for about a month. I didn't really know the area too well, so I figured I'd call up another scavenger that I met along the way. This one was a human by the name of Cliver Elgo. And just asked him if he had any leads on how to get into Dead Dome. He pointed me to a particular dry dock in, Industrial Dome 2. Yeah. Where he said that if I could hack the doors open, then I could spacewalk out there right to Dead Dome, right from the outside. Easy peasy. So off I went to whistling a jovial tune and going right over to Industrial Dome 2 because I was about to make the easiest money in my life. When I got to the doors, found the terminal, I hacked it with ease. I mean, I'm great at what I do. It was so easy, in fact, that not only did the doors, did I configure the doors open, I also put a little automatic timer on it so that after a certain amount of time, after a few seconds, I did it. Once I leave, the doors would close behind me. And I did this for a couple of reasons. First off, I love the flair. It's like any action movie. I have the doors closed behind me without looking back. I felt pretty good. You got to entertain yourself sometime. But I also didn't want anybody following me. I didn't want anybody, onto what I was up to. So while I was out there, I noticed a couple things. First off, there were bodies floating around. Now, in my line of work, you see a lot of dead bodies. It's not surprising. A lot of times it's squatters or other scavengers. I expect someday I'll get mine. It's just usually the fate of the job. But it wasn't... It was as if a fight occurred out there because these were people that came from Dead Dome. These were people that were trying to get into Dead Dome. The other thing that was even more surprising to me were these weird, box-like structures. They're about 8 to 10 feet tall, but they were attached to the underside of the space station. And never seen anything like them before. I really, really wanted to check them out, but I was on the clock. Yeah, I'm getting paid for what I do, so figured I'd put that on the back burner, maybe come back to it later, take a closer look at it. But I was able to get into the spacewalk right to Dead Dome easily. But here's the thing, though. I'm not much of a practitioner of the faith, but I'm sure some god is having his laugh because. I mean, when I got into Dead Dome, not only did I find myself in the middle of a scuffle. I mean, I expected this scuffle, and it's a major ship crash into a dome. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people going heading around, but I found myself reunited with my other students, my other co-students, ex-co-students. Yeah, we'll go ex-co-students. The people I worked with on the Infinitum that were also expelled. Brawl, Seeker, Hush, and Rye. So, that's it for my transaction here, transmission. I'll finish this up here, and fire this away, and transmission.
Alright, now that that's all set, let's get into the other players really briefly. They're still, at this point, not joined as a party, so they're in two separate groups. First off, we have Zero and Brawl, and then we have Rye and Seeker. Zero and Brawl tried the most direct route. They went to the hallway connecting Industrial 2 and Dead Dome. I don't know if we covered it so much in episode 1. A hallway is just a giant metal space tube that connects the different domes. The domes are connected to a variety of different domes by these hallways. This particular hallway tube, what have you, is actually guarded by station security. Normal security is flesh and blood, bunch of different alien species, what have you. This particular area is guarded by drones and robots, mechanical beings, mostly because they're not as easily corrupted, and that's kind of a problem down in the lower levels of Pyramid Station Alpha. There's also already a crowd of scavengers getting rebuffed by these mechanized security guards, and we had our players, Zero and Brawl, kind of watched a couple of these scavengers kind of break away from the group. They followed them and found that the scavengers were using basically like an airlock, but only used for like very personal matters, like security repairs. Definitely not mass transit, and usually not used by anyone not in engineering. So the players aren't really sure how they had access to it. However, they were able to open it, and they decided to join up with the scavengers. There was some negative altercation there, but it was smoothed over, and they all decided to spacewalk from there to Dead Dome. No real issues there. There was some fighting that happened farther ahead of them by other scavengers who already had the same idea, but that hadn't gotten back to the players. For Ryan Seeker, they took a less direct route, but it was much closer to what Miller had done. They went to the docks after leaving Kay's office, Kay being the private detective character. At the docks, they picked up some disguises. They got a mechanic's uniform, and then Seeker did a holographic image to do his own mechanic's uniform. He uses that spell a lot. It's going to be a favorite, I can already tell. They got into a hangar. They opened the hangar door, not quite as expertly as Miller had done. Seeker actually gets sucked out of the open door. But with a little bit of luck, a reflex save, and a touch of magic, he was able to not get ejected and float into space. From there, him and Rye spacewalked. They were a little bit behind everyone else, but they made it there without issue. And then we pick up there with episode 3, which has no more issues. You will see that the stream is kind of always evolving. I use a unique background for now while I'm doing the single stream, mostly because Justin can't tell me no. And then we have the updated logo that Justin's been kind of refining from Nick's original design. That'll change when you jump to episode 3, but don't worry about it. And we're also looking to push content to other areas. So if you're like, man, I wish I could find this on X, let us know. We're probably already working on it, but again, we're happy for all feedback. You can do that in the comments below this video. Oh, my camera's very zoomed in. The comments below this video, or you can jump in our Discord, which I've already mentioned. All right, if you guys have any other questions or anything like that, please reach out. If there's anything else you wanted to just check on in this episode that I maybe didn't cover, feel free to ask me or the individual players. And yeah, that's all, folks. Jump right into episode 3, and it'll be a pretty smooth transition. I will say episode 3 has some of my favorite moments out of any of the episodes we've done so far. Keep an eye on Rye for that mostly. And yeah, I'm pretty excited with where we've been going, and I think we're going to keep just getting better and better. And I hope you guys are along for the ride with us. For now, just remember, never split the party. Yeah, Pat.